Hello my RPG friends. Today I'm gonna talk about tier guide for Wrath of the Righteous. If you do enjoy this video, please give a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's go. Alchemist. I think Alchemist is a pretty strong support class. You can use Infusion in order to share some personal spells like Shield and Transformation. And notable archetypes are Vivisectionist, which makes it as a martial much better, and Grenadier and Incense Synthesizer are also good in their own ways. Arcanist is also a pretty good class. Brown Fur Transmurer is an excellent buffer, of course, and Phantasmal Mage can also do things like Persistent Weird at higher levels. Inquisitor is also pretty solid. I would give them an A because of swift domain abilities, and you have decent archetypes like Judge, who can share Judgment. Sanctified Slayer is a pretty high DPS class. Overall, they're very solid. Kineticist, I'm going to give them a B. Early on, they're not so strong because it's hard to land physical blasts. Energy blasts require spell penetration and elemental ascendance, but later on they become very strong as you get AoE infusions like Deadly Earth. Magus is going to be an A. Sword Saint is a very good intelligence-based tank. You know, they can also target a flat-footed and touch AC with Magus Arcana. And Eldritch Archer and Arcane Rider are also pretty solid. Monk is a B. You have they're very good as a dip class, but Sensei is also interesting in certain niche comps when you have big one-hitters, and since they can share True Strike. Oracle is going to be a B. They're spontaneous cleric spellcasters. They don't get domains, they get revelations, which are not quite as good. However, merging with Angel makes them at least an A tier. Paladin is going to be an S tier because of Smite Evil and Mark of Justice. Ranger is going to be an A because favored enemy demon exists. In the base game you need to be Demon Slayer, but with tabletop tweaks, any ranger archetype can get up to +10 bonus just having favored enemy outsiders. Rogue is going to be a solid B tier. I think some of the archetypes are very good, particularly Rowdy. Rowdy can carry you through the early game in harder difficulties, but Thug and Eldritch Scoundrel are also pretty strong. Shaman is going to be a B tier. Their hexes are pretty varied. You can debuff an enemy's AC up to -14. And you also have things like Flame Curse, which gives vulnerability to fire. And overall, they're pretty okay-ish hybrid class. Shifter, I'm going to give them an A tier since I think they're very strong from level 4 onwards up to around level 10, which is, you know, where the difficulty is really hard and unfair, basically. So yeah, Manticore and Fey Form Shifter at level 4, and even Base Shifter at level 4, they get their major form, and that really makes them have a lot of attacks. Barbarian is a C tier because Primalist exists. Skald is going to be a B tier, A tier, because in the certain comps, especially martial comps, they can stack a lot of bonuses, so they're definitely up there. Slayer is going to be a C tier. Unfortunately, even though the archetypes like Arcane Enforcer and Deliverer are pretty decent, I don't think decent cuts it to be at least a B tier. So C tier for me. Sorcerer S tier because Triple Dragon, Hellfire Ray exists, and Alcat loves their charisma-based classes. Warpriest is going to be a B tier. Overall, they're pretty solid. They have a lot of combat feats, swift buffs, and some blessings are pretty good, like strength. So yeah, and scaling damage as well, weapon damage. Witch is going to be a B. Some of the hexes are very good and very strong in harder difficulties like Protective Luck, and Evil Eye and Fortune Hex are also pretty strong. Wizard is going to be a B because I don't think they're as good as sorcerers, but Explorer Wizard in particular is very strong. Bard is going to be a B. Inspire Courage is very nice, and getting Dirge of Doom at level 8 means you can target flat-footed AC as long as you have Shattered Defenses. Bloodrager, I'll give them an A since basically, you know, you can choose between rage powers and bloodline abilities, and you have 2 bloodlines with mythic, so evidently very strong. Cavalier, a C tier for me. They have very good charge in the early game and in the very late game, but in the mid game, I think they fall a bit off. And okay, some order abilities are nice, but overall, I don't think they're that strong. Cleric's going to be an S tier because swift domain abilities exist, and there's guarded hearth and things like visions of madness. Druid's going to be a C tier. The archetypes aren't very strong. Fighter is going to be an A tier since mutation warrior exists, weapon training, combat feats, and mutagens make them very good. And hunter is going to be a B since some of the archetypes are very interesting. Basically, colluding scoundrel up to -6 debuff on enemies attack. Divine hunter gets domains, and divine hound can share judgments with the pet. What do you guys think? Hope you guys had fun.